everyone, and welcome to Charjabugs Gaming, and today we're back with Week 4 of the Pokemon Global League. This is a draft-style Pokemon League where you draft a team of 11 Pokemon and then face off against other teams of drafted Pokemon, and you build your team to counter theirs. So it's a little bit of a different playstyle than typical battles, because usually you're just trying to beat everybody's team, but this you can make a little more specific sets. It's kind of cool. But we are the Minnesota Wild Charge. We are in Week 4. This is just an intro for people who have not been around for the other weeks, so bear with me. I just want to go over my full team quick. You can see my team on the screen. This week we are up against the Oregon Duckletts, Jonathan, Johnny, JB, GB. Link for his channel will be in the description below, as well as the link for all of the other coaches, including Kaninja, who we battled in Week 3. He is the coach of the Golden State Minions. He also records all of our battles because our capture card has bit the dust. I'm working on getting it fixed. I say this every time. The person I contacted hasn't contacted me back, so I gotta keep looking around. But we'll get it there. But anyway, my full team, Minnesota Wild Charge this season, is Mega Venusaur, Tyranitar, who's one of our Z-Move users, Rotom-Wash, Chandelure, Registeel, Dragalge, Beware, Granbull, Cresselia, Porygon Z, who's another Z-Move user, and Marowak. While my opponent's team consists of Naganadel, who is one of the Z-Move users, Zapdos, Mega Gallade, Scolipede, Deoxys Defense, Klefki, Hoopa Unbound, who is the other Z-Move user, Linoon, Incineroar, Seismitoad, and Lurantis. So we can see the teams on the screen this week. I just kind of quick movesets for you kids. We got Registeel, who is double status, I want to say, Toxic and Thunderwave. It also has Stealth Rocks and then Explosion, just to get out of the way. We want Registeel out of there as soon as we can. And then we have Chandelure, who is same set as it has been. I keep wanting to use this set, nobody ever lets me use it, so we're going to try it again. Max Defense, Max HP, Calm Mind, Substitute. We got Mega Venusaur. This week he's carrying Earthquake for the Naganadel, and then it also has Leech Seed. Then we have the Marowak, first time being on the squad. He's out here, Thick Club Marowak, 4 moves. And then we have Porygon Z, who is an agility set this week with the Normalium Z. We have Hyper Beam and Tri-Attack, so we can go full out blasting with the Z move, and it has adaptability. I don't know if I mentioned that or not. Then we also have Signal Beam for that Hoopa, who we can see on the screen, as well also the Deoxys to an extent. I think adaptability, Hyper Voice does more, but the Hoopa is the main thing because it's 4 times super effective. And then we have the Tyranitar, who I'm trying to remember his moveset this week. Oh, it's a Dragon Dance, 3 attacks. So we'll get up in here. I'm going to lead off with my Registeel. I'm a little wary of doing that just because my opponent does have a couple set up Pokemon in Scolipede and Linoon. But if that's the case, I'll just explode right away. But I want to try and get up my hazards and possibly do some status conditioning. So let's hop into this here. If you guys are enjoying the Pokemon Global League Season 6, be sure to hit that like and subscribe if you haven't already. And again, go check out all of the other coaches and see what their battles are. So, my opponent's going to lead off with a Deoxys Defense, this bulky boy I do not enjoy. But, I figure we're pretty safe to set up, like, Stealth Rocks and stuff. But I want to get a Toxic off on this thing first and foremost. Because Deoxys Defense is so bulky, I want Toxic racking up on that thing as soon as possible, so it's not sitting on the field the entire match. So we get the Toxic off. He does set up his own Stealth Rocks, which is kind of annoying, but we'll deal. We'll deal with it. So we get the Toxic off. Now I'm going to set up my Stealth Rocks in return, so at least we're on equal footing in that regard. But he does switch out the Deoxys here and goes into the Scolipede. So I'm like, ooh, he's going to start setting up right in my face, isn't he, little ugly boy? So I'm going to set up Stealth Rocks. So we can start chipping on things. And then this turn, I'm going to go for the Thunder Wave so that I can possibly slow this thing down, because it does have Speed Boost. He does set up Spikes, though. I'm like, oh, I don't like this. I need to get Registeel out of the way here. We're going to get the Thunder Wave off on the Scolipede, which is nice. So we're kind of counteracting its Speed Boost. He does get the Speed Boost this turn. But yeah, I need to get Registeel out of the way so this thing doesn't just set up on me and start going ham. He does get paralyzed this turn, which is kind of unfortunate for him, but I'm going to explode. I'm going to get my Registeel out of here. He could have gotten another layer of spikes off, but at this point I'm thinking, hey, I need to get in here and set up. I need to attempt a sweep right now, because if he starts hazard stacking me, it's going to be bad when I'm just switching in and out constantly. So now he's up to 2 speed boosts here. I'm going to bring in blue screen, young Porygon Z here. And I'm going to set up the agility. I want to be faster than everything. The Scolipede is +2. He is going to go for the baton pass. So he's going to baton pass out. And he actually switches that to Hoopa. And I'm like, Hoopa? This boy too slow for this. So he didn't know I was going to go for the agility. So if he had known that, he probably would have went into Gallade, who would have been a bigger issue for Porygon Z. But he's probably expecting a normal type move. But yeah, so that just allows us to outspeed the Hoopa. The Signal Beam's going to one-hit KO there. So Porygon Z, he's ready for his Rampage now. Now the Zapdos is going to come out. I am... So I do some calcs, and it's looking like Tri-Attack doesn't quite pick up the cake, and I don't want to go for a recharge with Hyper Beam yet, so I'm going to blast the Z move off. We're just going to try and tear a big hole as we can in this team of Porygon Z, so I have to do less switching later on in the match, because again, he's not got all of his hazards up, but it's enough that it's that I don't want to be switching in and out on it all the time, especially like Chandelure, who's going to take 25% from the Stealth Rocks alone. But this Breakneck Blitz, it's just going to obliterate the Zapdos. So now we're up 5. Sorry, I blew up my Registeel. We're up 5-4. And then the Deoxys defense is going to come in. I'm like, well, here's another bulky thing. I don't want to get paralyzed by it if it is carrying Thunder Wave, so I'm just going to fire off a Hyper Beam. Either way, we were either going to get paralyzed or we were going to not. So Hyper Beam's we're going to have to recharge, is what I should have said there. So we're going to get rid of the Deoxys defense. 3 Mons down, and now the Gallade finally comes in. I'm like, oh, well, sorry, Porygon, but you out of here, boy. The Gallade is going to Mega Evolve here. Of course, being Mega Gallade. And I'm thinking, well, if he close combats, at least it's dropping his defenses. But unfortunately, he's actually carrying Drain Punch. So I'm like, oh, well, now he's still a pretty bulky boy. So Porygon Z is going to faint to that, unfortunately. It did its job, though. It put a hole in this team. It's got him down to 3 Mons. There is more offensive ones. Scalopede's Thunder Waved anyway. So now I'm going to bring out Chandelure. If he does have knockoff, it just KOs me instantly, and that's basically GG from then on, because Gallade just outspeeds everything. Basically, Marowak would be my only hope at that point, but the Gallade does switch, so it's possible he didn't have knockoff, or he was just like, hey, he's going to Shadow Ball, or he might have thought I was Choice Scarfed. Could have been that case. But he's going to bring in the Linoon, who does get the free switch into Shadow Ball. I'm calcing this, I'm like, okay, he's got a Belly Drum here to be able to do any damage to me, which he does, so I went for the Flamethrower. Because this thing does have Gluttony as an ability, it's able to eat its Big Boy Berry at 50% instead of 75%, like you typically have to. So he gets 50% of his health back off of that, and then I go for the Flamethrower, which does not KO from here, unfortunately. But with a little hope and dreaming, you can get a critical hit and remove the Linoon from the field. So it is unfortunate, but, I mean, if he had knockoff on the Gallade, I'm not going to say things. It was a crit. I needed the crit to get that. That Linoon could have been a problem from then on out. I don't know. I'm assuming the Shadow Claw KOs. I am max defense Chandelure, but I don't think it matters. But anyway, now he brings it back in Gallade. He does reveal that he doesn't have knockoff, so that was the reason he did switch out there. So it makes sense. The Shadow Ball is just going to rip the Gallade open. So Gallade's going to drop. And he is down to just the Scolipede at this point, so Chandelure and Porygon Z making quick work of this team. Obviously, that crit did matter, but we take those. I get crit all the time. I get frozen. I get burned. I get paralyzed. I get everything. It happens. It's unfortunate. It happens. You take those. Flamethrower into the Scolipede, and that will end the match with Chandelure picking up... Was it only 2? No, it was 3. Chandelure picks up 3, Porygon Z picks up 3. Sorry, it just popped out of full screen there for some reason. But Porygon Z picks up 3. Unfortunately, we had to suicide our Registeel, and Porygon Z does faint. So it is a 4-0. So actually, after that match, it brings us to number 1 in our division by 1 point. Like, there's 3 of us that are 3-1. We have 9, I think was the math with our differential. So that's how many KOs you've gotten minus how many Pokemon have fainted during all the matches. I think we're at 9. The next person I think is at 8, and then 5, I want to say. I can't remember specifically. I looked it up pretty quickly after this match, but Yeah. So I want to thank you guys so much for joining us for this match. Again, be sure to go check out the Oregon Duckletts coach, Johnny GB. His link and all the other coaches' links are in the description below. Also, Con Ninja, thank you once again for recording for us in our time of need. Next week, we are up against the New Jersey Shellos, who I forget their coach. They are in the description below as well, though. So be sure to join us next week for that. It's going to be a tough match for sure. But otherwise, I'm going to get out of here, guys. Thank you so much for joining us. Like and subscribe if you have not already. And we'll see you next time. Stay sharp, everyone.